Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of Football Manager 2016 with Fulham. And this is, transfer deadline day. We're actually a few weeks away from our next game, which is against Blackburn, I think. But before that, we need to go over two things. First, we're going to go over the league and we're going to go over the transfers, as well as the fixtures also. So, first things first, signings. We haven't actually made any. I mentioned earlier how I'm happy with the team. Now, that turned out to be a bit of a lie, making a bit of a theme of this. One of the main issues, I think, was the amount of money I had. Now, it was okay. It wasn't particularly amazing, but it wasn't terrible. I could have made some signings. I just chose not to in the end. I chose to preserve the money, in case January came up and there was a good player I could have signed. Obviously financial, I've done that so many times where I've thought, oh sod it, it's not going anywhere else, but then that plunges the club into real financial difficulty. That happened, slightly different scenario, but it happened with AFC Liverpool. I did a save with AFC Liverpool on 15, I beg your pardon, and it was not, well, put it this way, I signed a player on £100 a week, which was pretty much double everyone else, and it really put the club in financial difficulty. He was a good player, he was worth it, he got 20 goals a season, it was just too much. So we haven't actually signed anyone. Here is some players. As you can see, there's Kay Vosser going to Wolves for £1 million. Thought I did alright there out of that. And generally this is the transfer roundup. You've got this guy going to Chelsea. You got Jan Maat going to Man United and Lucas Lima going to Chelsea as well. Chelsea spending £36 million. Now, as you can see here, two failed transfers. Thankfully, they're both here, so I can review them. First one, both of them couldn't get work permits. As you can see, I don't understand why the game does this. I don't think this should really be an option. I can understand if this is a real life option, but I don't think so, because a lot of people are just going to see the big red X player set to sign, and then they just click OK, and then they haven't read this bit which says application for a work permit turned down. It's actually been rejected, so he can sign for you, he just can't play for you. And that can, a lot of people who, they might be signing like a quality player, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, I can't play. It happened to me. I think with Newcastle, I signed Kazuki Honda, and he didn't actually have a work permit, so I couldn't play him, or it was someone like that. So that was an absolute pain in the arse. So bear that in mind. If you are new to FM or anything like that, bear that in mind. Right, no new signings, but not a bad start actually. We're fourth, and now the goal difference is 4 as well. We're on 9 points, 3 points off the top. QPR are absolutely flying at the moment. They've scored 15 goals and only conceded 4. We've also only conceded 4. However, things got off to a really bad start, as you may remember. So this is where we are at. We lost 1-0 to Cardiff, and it wasn't great. Scott Parker had a bit of a shocker, and Dembele didn't get involved. McCormick wasn't involved. Heinemann wasn't great. But then things got even worse, and we got knocked out of the Capital One Cup at the first round by Cambridge United, who were in League 2. And at this point, I'm just thinking, oh God, what have I let myself in for? Just thinking this is going to be an absolute nightmare. So I'm going to be sacked by the end of October, and it's just going to go to hell. And but thankfully, to be fair, I played a mostly weakened team here, thinking they'd be good enough. I played second goalkeeper. There's Jack Grimmer, Hutchinson played Kavanagh, Pringle. Obviously I brought on Parker Smith, but it didn't really happen. McCormick again is not great. And it started well. The sad thing is, it started really well. I'll show you the goals here. We started off really well. This is a goal here. Tom Kearney did a good job. Coley Woodrow, not the best first touch in the world, but nice thing there. And Woodrow poking in after, it's not very good goalkeeping, let's be honest. But, they all count. And we did quite well, but shot-wise. But look at that. That is horrible. In fact, you'll see this in the actual. Yeah, that's terrible goalkeeping. You can't be beaten at your near post. That's just terrible. Amateurish. But look at this, where my error is here. 2 shots on target. 2 out of 13 on target. 7 were off target. Slightly lucky break there. Kavanagh essentially making an assist to Core. Core, blimey indeed. As we got knocked out by Cambridge in the Capital One Cup. Where are they now, actually? Let's see. Are they still playing? Oh, they got knocked out by Cardiff, obviously, ironically enough. But then we bounced back and got our first win. I was quite worried about this one, to be honest. Ross McCormick paying back that Fulham paid quite a lot for him, if I recall correctly, and a lot of people were quite bemused by that because they felt he should have gone to a Premier League team. But it was quite quick, but the ball bounced off sort of Heinemann there, and it went straight to McCormick, who reacted quickly, and a lovely finish here. And this was literally seconds later. A lovely finish by Heinemann, 4 minutes in game time, but in terms of highlights, it was instantaneous, very, very quick. And then we sort of stopped, and it was all down. I panicked here, thinking, "Oh God, I've played Football Manager long enough to know what's coming next." But it didn't. It was 2-1 and it stayed. But we thought quite well, and this was when I really started to tweak my tactic. This one I sort of gave a half-assed sort of tweak to. I just thought, okay, we'll play some players out wide, and didn't really think about anything else. That's probably why we lost, and partially because of a weakened team. But this one, I thought, okay, seriously though, let's check this out now, because this is not going well. And then this happened. Cauley Woodrow missing a penalty. Now, again, he's another one where I'm just like, right, is he what everyone says he is? Now, I'm not saying he won't be. He could be good, but at the minute, he isn't. Typical FM, how many times have we seen that on Football Manager? Sort of lofted ball, not quite in the corridor of uncertainty or anything. But it's typical Football Manager goal, you could say. And I thought we're going to get a chance here to get a point at decent penalty there. Not quite sure what happened, but Woodrow stepped up. Probably should have been a more senior player, to be honest with you. It's my fault for not assigning the penalties. And it's just straight at McGregor. I mean, it's just rubbish penalty. But things have turned up since then, and we're actually now sending forward, as you saw. So 3-1 against Huddersfield. Stearman, McCormick and Kacaniklic. I have noticed a distinct lack of him so far, scoring. Unfortunately, we've not actually kept a clean sheet yet, which is no good. Lovely header by Stearman, getting his first goal for Fulham. Heinemann again involved. He's had a very positive impact on our play. We've enjoyed him so far. And here's the second goal. Or sorry, is it their goal? I can't quite remember. I think that is Naki Wells. I was half tempted to sign him, but I think his value was way more than I thought it'd be. I thought he'd be worth a couple of million. No, Naki Wells was actually worth about £7 million, which I'm not saying he isn't worth that. He's a good player. He's just lovely finish there by McCormick. I just thought he wouldn't be that much. I didn't realise scoring a few cup goals but he could price up that much. So that was 2-0. In terms of the team now starting to really gel, I should point out one thing I never pointed out in the previous previous video. I think my manager reputation is not Sunday League. It's not Sunday. What's the one? Oh, hang on. I'll check it in a second. It's quite lowish. It's not high, but it's not low either. A bit of a terrible hesitation there from Ream. And it's cost us a goal there. It's a bit of a shame. But, in the end we won, and that's the main thing. Lovely play here. Frederick's getting involved, and there's Kacaniklic at the back post. And lastly, Rotherham, we finally did keep a clean sheet in the end, as Ross McCormick backed himself a hat-trick, so he's finally starting to kick into gear now, and we're starting to see the Ross McCormick that Fulham actually paid for. It's been interesting actually because I tried Garbutt at left wing, you may have seen, and it didn't really work. I think initially my assistant manager Alan Kerbishley suggested it, and I thought that's not a half bad idea, and I stuck to it, and it hasn't really worked. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, that's Kerbishley for you. So that hasn't changed. And then I put Kacaniklic in, and it seems to be working. So this is the second goal here for Ross McCormick against Rotherham. I think this has really helped our goal difference because before it was not great at all. And I think this is now a good spot to start video. I know I said I was going to do it in every sort of 2 or 3 months, but with the transfer list, obviously, with the transfer window, I should say, opening and closing, then I thought, good checkpoint and a good idea to see where we are as of September. And here's the last goal for now, when Bettinelli wants to kick it. Like 86th minute, I think, at this point. So they're just winding the clock down. Nice assist for Woodrow, and McCormack gets his hat-trick. Fantastic stuff. So we're playing Blackburn next. That is going to be at the Cottage. And, well, unfortunately, before that, as you can see on the date, there's, in fact, a load of internationals to be played. So I'm going to skip ahead of them, and I'll join you in a second for the live commentary. And here we are. So this is the game versus Blackburn then. And, of course, they have, as you can imagine, Jordan Rhodes up front. And I'm bloody terrified. We are obviously dropped down to 9th due to the fact that everyone else has played. This is now on the Sunday. But if we win, that means we go potentially, in fact we will, go second. Which would be very nice indeed. We've got McCormack and Dembele up front, Kaci Nikolic, Hindman, Parker, Kearney, Garbut, Bodorov, Steeman, Fredericks and Joe Lewis in goal, the on-loan goalkeeper, due to the fact that Bettinelli is actually injured. He injured himself in the weight training or something or other, I don't know. So Jordan Rhodes the one to look out for. Blackburn aren't doing particularly great. They're in 21st at the moment. We've played a lot of teams around here, which is not, well, I mean, Brighton are 15th. I know they're leading the championship, or were at the time of recording this, I think. So that's got a bit wrong. We've also got Rotherham, Leeds at the bottom, haven't actually won. Neither have Preston or Blackburn have actually won yet, but they have had a few draws. So I should theoretically fancy my chance here, but I'm still getting sort of used to this team. Let's start the game and hope that we do quite well. So first impressions then, I guess, on the game, obviously having just done a commentary to ease myself in. I guess I should talk about the game real quick. Liking it so far. The only thing I honestly can say that I don't like, because you know you can always say what you like. It's the same game essentially. There's a nice few additions. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time getting used to them. That's anything. But the only thing I can honestly say I don't like at this stage is seems to be anytime you do there's some sort of loading screen or something going on in the background, the game. The physical visual background sort of goes into this weird sort of frost animation. Oh, that's a fantastic finish by Jordan Rhodes, but the goalkeeper's got to do better. He's got to stop that. Okay. And yeah, I don't know why, but it sort of frost. So yeah, see there? So, can you see what I mean? It sort of goes into, I call it frost. I don't think that's a bit, that's not, I don't think that's necessarily the, let's go higher. I'm trying to think what's the way, but yeah, you can see it goes a bit fuzzy. That really slows my computer down, and it lags. It's not even slowing the computer down, it just slows the game down. It just seems like an unnecessary animation. I don't know if that's just because my computer can't handle it. I don't know if it's just because it's the graphics card. I don't know, because I don't have a graphics card on this. I've got a Mac Mini, so anything graphics-wise is integrated into the CPU. Hang on, chance for Dembele, and that's 1-1. Very good finish. First goal for all the 19-year-olds. Very good. So again, pushing forward. It's done us better. At least our shots on target have improved. Percentage-wise, anyway. I don't think a point would be the end of the world here. However, I would like to keep our win run going to 3 games. That would be very nice. But again, Ross McCormack, he's so hot and cold. You know, he can bang a hat-trick in one game and go completely anonymous the next. Let's see. Scott Parker, he just lacks an effect on the game. It's kind of sad, really. It's like watching Steven Gerrard last year for Liverpool. He just had no effect on the game. It's like, you know, this guy's a good player. He's just not doing it. Whether it's because I'm not playing to his strengths or the game's just passing him by, I don't know. But it's frustrating to watch. I mean, I'm trying to think what I can change here, really. I don't think there really is anything. I mean, it's 1-1, not the end of the world. Let's just play the second half, see how we go. Just waiting for Ross McCormack to flick a switch. So he's got 5 goals. He is, before the weekend started, he was 3rd in the top goal scoring list. So he's done quite well so far. But yeah, FM 16 so far, pretty positive. Obviously, plenty of time for it to go horribly wrong, or I guess horribly right as well. First impressions are pretty good though, gotta be honest, but it's a beta. There's going to be bugs. You need to remember that. You know, don't go off thinking that this is the final product and, you know, basic stuff won't be fixed. I mean, I've already had the game completely crash on me once before when I was trying to do that Tranmere save. But I've got all sorts of mad and kooky wacky ideas for future series. Okay, we're going to take off. Who are we going to take off here? I want to say Scott Parker because he's done nothing. I don't actually know who to bring on. That's the thing. We've got no one to really bring him on. Let me come back to that. I'm going to go on the tactics screen actually because I'm still getting used to all the players and the positions. It doesn't actually show them. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't actually show you, like you can't see. Hyman isn't doing a particularly great job either. Move him back to defend. That's probably why we conceded. Catching Nikolic hasn't been okay. He's been okay. I might swap. Let's put him to a false 9. That seems. I always suck with false 9s. I've never had one go right for me. I know obviously they can go right. It's just they've never actually gone right for me personally. Let's go attacking. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that for now. I'm just going to go attacking and see how we do. Probably isn't going to be great. Not going to be much in the way of change, but it's worth a look. So it's just waiting for McCormick just to have that little bit of quality, you know, a little spark. Oh, well, that's 5 yellow cards. I'm pretty sure that is a fine. In fact, if you have 5 more yellow cards in one game, you are to be fined. Yeah, that's annoying. So I feel like I should put Woodrow on. It's a slight risk. We're going to put McCormick back here, and we're going to have Woodrow as a advanced forward with Dembele and target man, and McCormick just behind him as a shadow striker. This didn't work last time, and I know I'm leaving the centre midfield completely open, but I've had a similar formation sort of work in the past. It wasn't massively. Oh, Danny Guthrie's been sent off. Former Liverpool player, of course. Danny Guthrie has been sent off. So Blackburn now down to 10 men for the last 15 minutes. That change may make a lot more sense now, unless they, of course, score, which, as Football Manager would do. 10 men of Blackburn. They look like they're going to score. You know when you can just feel a goal coming? I'm sure this, mate, I swear this is going to be a goal for Blackburn. I can sense it. It's coming. Look at Jordan. It was so obvious. Oh, hang on. No, he's offside. It was definitely coming. You can just sense, you can just tell by the way they were playing. Yeah, I don't think. Oh, hang on. Chance here for catching Nikolic to put the ball in, but he should have done way better. Rather than cover himself in glory there either. We've got another chance here with Kearney. Garbut to catch Nikolic. Plays it back to Fredericks. And Tom Kearney, is he onside? He most certainly is. That is 2-1. And now, we've got a decision to make here. Okay, we're going to go defensive. We're going to sit deeper. Not going to work ball into box. Going to go balanced. Stick to positions. Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to take off Ross McCormack for Tim Bream. I'm going to go to 5 at the back. Hyman goes into midfield. And I'm also going to take off. Thing is, Dembele can be useful at set pieces. Just going to leave that for now. Listen, we have to go uber defence. You know, we're talking about 10 men. 10 men Blackburn here. Hopefully this will be enough to quell Jordan Rhodes. Okay, 3 minutes of added time. Do we go to contain? No, we're not going to go to contain. Clear ball to flanks. We are going to go back to flexible. Okay. No, I can't. No, I want to make one more sub, but I can't decide. I don't think we've got any more, actually. I don't think we've got any more defenders on the field. Here we go. Another free kick here. This is a chance to win it, and that is the winner, I believe, from Coley Woodrow. 3-1, coasting to victory in the end. I think that little scoreline up there, that flatters us slightly. It was a lot harder, but unfortunately, or fortunately for us, Blackburn's finishing wasn't great. There's 6 efforts off target, so we do indeed move up to second. Tell you what, first 2 games, you know, a bit of a disaster, lose to Cardiff and then get knocked out of the Capital One Cup to Cambridge United. That's not bad at all. Apparently I'm waking up in 9 hours. That's a load of rubbish. I'm not sleeping for a while yet. Trust me, I'm playing Football Manager 2016. I'm very excited. So 3-1. Can't argue. 4 wins and 2 losses. No draws. 11 goals, though. Yes, goals even conceded isn't too bad. So we've come behind, and as I say, it's only £5,000. I mean, come on, FA, what kind of fine is that? I thought it'd be at least 20,000. You know, maybe that's in the Premier League. I don't know. £5,000. It's a player's wage. I don't understand fines in football. They make no sense. They just, like, what's the point of them? It's like I've seen bigger fine or lesser fines handed out for fans being racist. You know, for imitating a monkey at a black player or something. You know, it's stupid. They make no sense. Anyway, that's my mini rant. So yeah, as you can see, league positions going on up the league table, just 3 points behind QPR, who I'd say are romping it. That's a strange looking top 6. I've got to be honest. I don't think Bolton under Neil Lennon. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. He would get the best out of them. That doesn't surprise me at all. Although Blackburn being down there sort of does. Although I'm not sure how they're getting on. Brighton definitely. See, I was right to take over Brighton the other year. Look how well they're doing. Anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So no signings in the transfer window. That should theoretically be good for our finances. Although I think that's not good. Although yeah, the expenditure is kind of ridiculous. Though I didn't want to make that any worse. The balance, I've got to say, this is so much easier to read than normal. That isn't too bad, the balance. If we get promoted, obviously that's going to change. Okay, that's okay. That's not bad. I know the profit and loss isn't particularly great, but hopefully there'll be some change there when and if we get promoted. So, thank you very much for watching. Here's the new home screen. I think it looks fantastic. I'm really enjoying FM16 so far, even in beta. I had a couple of crashes, but no big deal. Still getting used to the new interface. Obviously, this is FM Touch, not FM full version. And yeah, please, I hope you're enjoying it as well. So leave your comments in the comments box if you have any, like the video, and I will be back probably tomorrow, I'm guessing, with a new video in October/November. Let's see, can we keep this good run going? Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you then. Goodbye.